the last video, we discussed the poem The Bangle Sellers written by Sarojini Naidu. I hope you all have gone through it. So in that poem, she has beautifully described the different stages in the life of a woman. To be more precise, in the life of an Indian woman, through the different colors of bangles. She has associated like different colors of glass bangles to the different stages in the life of a Indian woman. Okay, so and like we could also say that like that poem celebrates womanhood. Okay, fine. So today I'll be explaining two sets of previous year questions from this poem. So like we had questions from this poem in the 2020 board papers of both the 9th standard and 10th standard. Okay, so I'll be explaining both the questions and like both the sets of questions and answers today. And before that we'll just go through the major figures of speech used in this poem. So mainly we have simile, metaphors, imageries, both visual and auditory imageries and alliterations used in this poem. Anyway, I'm not going to explain or give any examples for alliterations because we have done it like plenty of times before. So I hope you can find it out yourself. Okay, you should. So about simile. So the best way to find out simile is to look for the word like in the poem, right? That is the easiest way to find simile. So here in this poem you can find simile in the lines like some are like fields of sunlit corn. So here the bangles are directly compared, yellow bangles are directly compared to the fields of sunlit corn which are also yellow in color. Then you can also see that in the lines tinkling, luminous, tender and clear like her bridal laughter and bridal tear. So here that tinkling sound, it is compared to that bridal laughter and luminosity to the bridal tear. There is a direct comparison. So these are the examples of similes. Now when it comes to the metaphor, I hope you remember what is metaphor, right? These are all easiest figures of speech. So here here in like many parts the author she has implied, okay, she has like different things she has made comparison between two different things, not in a direct way, but she has implied some relation between two different like entirely different things, and she has not stated it clearly. Okay, so that relation is not very clear, but she has implied some similarities, or like she has implied a kind of comparison without stating it clearly. That's why I have said like she has used metaphor in this poem. So the examples are like the place where, that is in the first stanza, there the bangles are they are considered as rainbow tinted circles of light. So that is an example for metaphor. And then lustrous tokens of radiant lights, this is again an example for metaphor. So there like what? Actually there is no relation between bangles and the rainbow tinted circles of light. No, nothing, right? What is the relation between rainbow and bangle? Nothing. But the poet she has implied a relation, okay, without clearly stating it. That's why these are examples of metaphors. Now the third, that is the most important one, imageries. Okay. So as I said, you have both visual and auditory imageries used in this poem, like which will help us to feel, okay, like what? Those expressions, these are the expressions that focuses on our senses like smell, touch, sight, hearing, okay, and taste. So can you guess where the poet has used imageries? Many. So like in the line rainbow tinted circles of light, that gives us a picture. So that is an example for visual imagery. Then again you can find it out in the lines where she has talked about the mountain mist, that is silver and blue as a mountain mist. That is again an example for visual imagery. Then what? Yeah, then again, like, yeah, some like the, no, that is again, sorry, that is an example for simile. That is some like the flame of a marriage fire. So that is example for simile. Then what? Yeah, then about auditory imageries, you can see it in tingling, the word tingling. So why that word is used? To give us that feel, or like that actually influences our audit, like what, our sense, right? We feel like we are hearing it. Then what? Bridal laughter. So these are all examples for auditory imagery. So whichever expressions, like, which are the powerful expressions that focuses on our senses, such as smell, touch, sight, hearing, or taste, can be considered as imageries. So here we have a lot of it. So I hope you understood. Like, as I said in the beginning, I am not going to explain anything about alliteration because we have already done it and it's so simple. Okay, now let us see the questions. Okay, so first we will discuss the questions which was asked in the 2020 9th standard board paper, and it is pretty easy. So this is again an extract based question. So the extract is, it is from the first stanza, from the third line to the sixth line. Okay, that is, who will buy these delicate, bright, rainbow tinted circles of light, lustrous tokens of radiant lives, for happy daughters and happy wives? So this is the extract. Okay, that is from the first stanza. So let us see the questions based on it. The questions are like too simple. So the first question is, who are the speakers in the poem? Where are they going? What do they intend to do there? Okay, who are the speakers in the poem? Where are they going? What do they intend to do there? So who are the speakers? I have said it in the previous video. That is, the bangle sellers are the speakers in the poem. And where are they going? They are going to the temple fair. And what do they intend to do there? They intend to sell bangles there in the temple fair. Okay, so this is the answer for the first question. So like one line for each will give you like altogether 3 marks. Now the second question, how are bangles described in the above lines? What do the bangles symbolize? So the question is, how are the bangles described in the above lines? So you have to write those descriptions given in the extract. Okay, don't go for anything else in the other stanzas. And what do the bangles symbolize? That also you can write from the first stanza. So the answer is, the bangles are described as delicate, bright, rainbow tinted circles of light. And they are also described as lustrous tokens of radiant lives. Okay, and they symbolize different stages in a woman's life. So it's not that difficult. Like for the spellings, you can look into the first stanza. Like all the words are there in the first stanza itself. Okay, there is no confusions. There is no need of any confusions. Everything is there in the first stanza. Okay, so I hope you got that, right? They are described as delicate, bright, rainbow tinted circles of light, and also as lustrous tokens of radiant lives, and they symbolize the different stages in the life of a woman. Okay, fine. Now the third question, what does the poet compare to fields of sunlit corn later in the poem? So this is not based on the first extract or the given extract. Okay, it is from the next stanza, like the third stanza. And the question is, what does the poet compare? What does the poet compare to fields of sunlit corn later in the poem? Why does the poet refer simultaneously to bridal laughter and bridal tear? So the answers for this entire question is there in the third stanza. So how will you write? the poet compares the yellow colored bangles to the fields of sunlit corn. That is the answer for the first part. Now, why does the poet refer simultaneously to bridal laughter and bridal tear? So the thing is, like on the day of marriage, the girl or the woman, she'll be happy and sad at the same time, because she'll be happy because she's going to start a new life. She's stepping into a new life, right? And she'll be sad, very much sad about leaving her parents. Okay, so that is the answer for the third question. Now the fourth one. In the poet's opinion, what does a woman who has journeyed through life midway take pride in? So that answer is there in the last stanza. Question once again. In the poet's opinion, what does a woman who has journeyed through life midway take pride in? So, a woman who has journeyed through life midway takes pride in accomplishing all her duties and bringing up her kids, right? In that part it is written, she has cherished, she has loved, and she has blessed her sons. So she takes pride in that. She takes pride in accomplishing all her duties and bringing up her kids. Okay, like she has done everything. Whatever duties were assigned to her, she has done. So you can write about that. Now to the fifth question. What important stages of a woman's life does the poet refer to in this poem? What colors are associated with each of these stages? So all the different stages are very clearly mentioned in the poem. So once again the question is, what important stages of a woman's life does the poet refer to in this poem? And what colors are associated with each of these stages? So those stages are very clearly mentioned in the introduction part. Okay, in that box just before the poem, that is page number 13 in your text. So it is written, like from there, like we can write that the different stages are that of a young maiden, a bride, a middle-aged matron, and an older woman. Okay, these are the different stages. And then now we have to write the different colors associated with it. So you can write so the colors associated with the stage of being a young maiden is silver, blue, and also transparent ones. Then that stage of being a bride is yellow and and red. Okay, yellow and red, right? Yeah, like those had the color like that of fields of sunlit corn. Then the flame of her marriage fire, somewhere like the flames of her marriage fire, rich with the hue of her heart's desire. So you can write that those were yellow, red, and reddish yellow, that color of flame. Now then those colors that are associated with the life of a middle-aged woman. Okay, it is purple. Okay, some are purple and golf-like grey. Okay, so the colors suitable for a middle-aged woman, it is purple and golf-like grey, right? Yeah, so you can write you can write the answer in such a way. Now let us see the next set of questions. That is from the 2020 10th Standards Board paper. So this is again extract based questions, and the extract given is like just 2 lines, that is, bangle sellers are we who bear our shining loads to the temple fair. Okay, then those are the first 2 lines. Bangle sellers are we who bear our shining loads to the temple fair. And the first question based on it is, why does the poet use the word delicate to describe the bangles? How was rainbow tinted circles of light an appropriate description of bangles? That is, why does the poet use the word delicate to describe the bangles? How is rainbow tinted circles of light an appropriate description of bangles? So we have described, like we have explained it already, right? Yeah. So it is, bangles are basically fragile in nature. Okay, bangles are basically fragile, they can be easily broken. That's why here it is described, or here the poet has used the word delicate to describe the bangles. Okay, yeah. Now about the rainbow tinted circles of light. So the rainbow tinted circles of light is, yeah, obviously it is an appropriate description of bangles, as these bangles are multicolored like the rainbow and are bright. Okay, this is the answer. They are multicolored and are bright. Okay, they are multicolored like the rainbow and they are bright. That's why they are described as rainbow tinted circles of light. So this is the answer for the first question. Now the second one. Explain the following phrases from the poem in your own words. Not in your own words, okay? Yeah. So first phrases, shining lords. Second one is lustrous tokens of radiant lives. And third one is for happy daughters and happy wives. So the question once again, explain the following phrases from the poem in your own words. Shining lords, lustrous tokens of radiant lives, for happy daughters and happy wives. So shining lords, how will you explain this phrase? That is, the shining lords here refers to the multicolored bright bangles carried to the temple fair by the bangle sellers. And now when it comes to lustrous tokens of radiant lives, how can you explain? That is, lustrous tokens of radiant lives is a metaphor. I have already said it's a metaphor used by the poet, and it refers to, and it says that the shining bright bangles are symbols of happy lives of women, okay, or happy lives of women. So only those happy women, they'll wear bangles, right? That's why we said, like, here in this poem we have this celebration of Indian womanhood. Okay, so here the lustrous tokens of radiant lives. Okay, that phrase tells us that the shining bright bangles symbolize or are symbols of happy lives of women. Okay, now those bangles are meant for happy daughters and happy wives. Now the next question, the third part, that is for happy daughters and happy wives. Like, how will you explain that? That is, the poet, through this phrase happy daughters and happy wives, she convey the fact that the bangles are associated with the dreams and aspirations of women. Okay, dreams. Okay, and so they wear bangles during the happy moments or happy occasions in their life. So this is the answer for the second question. Now the third question. The poet uses several images of sight and sound. So I have already told you about the imageries, visual and auditory. Okay, sight and sound to create a musical effect in the poem. Mention any 3 examples of these images. Just 3. The question again. The poet uses several images of sight and sound to create a musical effect in the poem. Mention any 3 examples of these images. So the first example you can write sight, that is visual imagery. The first example you can write the imagery of rainbow tinted circles of light, right? Rainbow tinted. So here it stands for what? Like the multicolored bangles. Okay, it refers to the multicolored bangles. Then the another example is that visual imagery of mountain mist. Okay, this is also a very profound imagery, as a mist on the mountain can be appreciated with its changing color, like which is sometimes silver and sometimes blue. Okay, that's why that is another beautiful visual imagery. And we have an example for auditory imagery, which I have already mentioned. That is, you can see those auditory imageries in the words and phrases like tingling and bridal laughter. Okay, so you can write all these examples. Now we should move on to the fourth question. The question is, what are the emotions that the poet associate with a bride on her wedding day? So we have already seen this in the last set. What colors are the bangles on her wrist that reflect these emotions? Once again, what are the emotions that the poet associates with a bride on her wedding day? What colors are the bangles on her wrist that reflect these emotions? So, what is it? On her wedding day, a bride will be both happy and sad at the same time, right? Like she'll be happy about starting a new, like a completely new life, and like she's going to get a life partner, so she'll be so happy, she'll be so excited, and at the same time she'll be sad as she has to leave the parental about, parental about. So she'll be sad about that. And what colors are the bangles on her wrist that reflect these emotions? So the colors on her wrist that reflect these colors are like yellow, red, and reddish yellow. So you can write these colors. Now, what colors does the poet associate with maiden and a middle-aged woman? How does the poet describe the thoughts and concerns of women in both these stages of life? So this is almost similar to that fifth question in the previous set. So here, like there, they have asked us to name the different stages and also write the colors associated with those stages. Here it is given like what colors does the poet associate with maiden and a middle-aged woman. So the colors the poet associates with a maiden is silver, blue, and transparent. And then the colors that the poet associates with a middle-aged woman is purple and gold-flecked grey. Okay, so that part is over. Now, how does the poet describe the thoughts and concerns of women in both these stages of life? So when the poet talks about the maiden, the poet says that like a maiden, she'll be like youthful, she'll be dreaming, she'll be having so much of hopes and aspirations. Okay, she'll be dreaming, like she dreams of her future, and she is also described as pure and innocent. So this is so these are the thoughts and concerns of a woman in her maidenhood. And now to talk about a middle-aged woman. So here the poet has used the colors purple and gold-flecked grey. And so that is like those colors are in a way that grey color, it actually shows that maturity. Like a middle-aged woman is obviously a matured woman. She is an experienced person, right? She'll be so much experienced. She has crossed all the other stages. Okay, so she'll be very experienced. So to describe a middle-aged woman, she is more concerned about her family, right? She is more concerned about her family. She is mature, she is experienced, and she is like she has fulfilled all her duties. Like she has accomplished all her duties. That is, she has cherished, loved, and blessed and cradled her sons, and and she takes care of her household. And finally, when she has accomplished all her duties, the poet tells that she is not just a mother, she is also a wife, right? She is also a wife, a beautiful wife. So finally, when she has accomplished everything, she sits peacefully at her husband's side while worshipping. Okay, so that's all about a middle-aged woman. So in this way, you can write the answer for that fifth question, which will fetch you 4 marks. One thing I missed, when you write about when you're writing about the middle-aged woman, you should also mention, like as I have said, she is experienced, She has closed, like she has successfully accomplished all her duties, and she is matured, and along with that you should also write that she feels so proud. Okay, she is so proud about, like, or she is proud that she has done all her duties. Okay, and yeah, and finally she sits at her husband's side and she worships God. So this is the answer for that fifth question. Okay, so don't forget the word pride. Yeah, so that's all for today. Listen to the video, and yeah, please write down the question answers in your own words. Like, practice makes man perfect, right? So if you keep writing, then certainly for the board exams you could give, or you could write super perfect answers in your paper. Okay, take care. Bye bye.